move it?
I had it upstairs.
Oh.
It was off the wall.
There's a lot of people around here like that.
One of the top trending Google searches is on Hunter Biden, followed by how do I change my vote? So when you say a Democrat friend, like you need from another spot, you need a Democrat?
No.
Nope.
So-
For each one.
We're gonna have you get the supplies from Thompson's
Okay.
precinct and just bring them to the courthouse since we
So
thought
it's
we
easiest
should
to have somebody that you're close to, so you can just pick them up and drop them back
Or
off.
am I gonna be working?
Actually, I think I have Lake Mills covered, so I don't at this point have you placed anywhere.
All right.
We'll just have you kind of on an on-call basis in an emergency.
Call me up, Chris. For your Democrat writer.
Neil?
Oh,
He is?
oh my goodness.
Oh, I didn't know that.
This is on.
He's proud, and that's fine. We go back and forth.
I've always got
Him-
one.
Oh, absolutely, I do too.
Super nice guy.
I bet he is.
Please be shocked.
Look up his Facebook stuff.
No, thanks. I'll just stay away from
It's
that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just regular hours and I just keep track of it, right? Like, it doesn't have
Harris
to be like a
Peterson too,
separate-
he do one. Or Sue.
Right, he just gets paid for it like normal. It's just military, because we, yeah.
So I don't have to enter anything special, it's just.
Yeah, just like normal.
Put it in Facebook, it's a pack of blanket of card.
Is that go off anytime or?
It's 9:02.
Is it 9:02?
Yes,
I
it
was
is.
gonna say,
All right, what's
this is
that
going
pledge of
south
allegiance?
fast.
Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's your copy.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
Second.
A motion, there being a circumstance, to approve minutes and agenda, all in favor say aye. Number 2, discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policies.
I suppose Julie's on the phone either. I heard we had 10 yesterday, 10 new positives. But I don't know that there's anything we can change to
No.
benefit the public or protect the public anymore.
Okay, well, if there's nothing for that, we'll move on to number 3. Scott Minger's engineer will discuss secondary road matters.
Muted.
Whoops. Why did I call that Chad? I hit the wrong button.
Do it again, we gotta get it unmuted.
You are the only participant.
Hello,
It didn't say
Ready for
unmuted
ya.
though.
I'll be right up.
No, I think that means it came back on.
I think it has to say unmuted.
I keep forgetting.
I suppose I could throw my body on that to
Yeah,
cover.
you would cover it. I mean, that would help.
Or I could throw the trash can on it.
Yeah.
came back on saying you're the only participant. Does that mean we're not muted?
I don't,
Because he muted us when he did his electronic thing.
here, I'll,
See if we're live.
yeah, I'm just gonna call it.
Morning, Scott.
Morning.
Maybe. It's worse than. Is it?
No snow over that one.
No, I'm talking to new pavement.
Oh.
Construction.
Oh.
Drive 838 on your way home.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
No.
We must be muted.
How do we unmute ourselves? Yeah.
Press 2.
Unmuted.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, also remember to press 2 now.
That was me hanging up. Yeah, I guess it's right there. Sorry about that. Are you on me on the secondary roads?
Yes.
Okay, construction update. We're hoping to have painting started very soon on the construction, the new asphalt. That'll be this week, hopefully. With snow coming and everything, it's even that much more important. So we need to get that done, and Eric's been visiting with him every day, trying to get him here. So what they're gonna do is paint temporary markings, come over with a groover to, groove. That's about the width of a nickel, and then they'll paint it again once they're done with that part. So that's the plan at this point, and wish it was done already, but it isn't. Otherwise, that's the only step they have yet to go. They got the rumble strips for the stop signs in last week, so that part's done.
You guys drive them, I know this is a stupid question, but you guys drive them after it's all done? I mean, now, I drove 838 last week on the way here. Wow. I mean, I guess if it was doing it for me, I'd be disappointed.
In what specifically? Rough.
And then I was in my truck, so I called Bill and asked him to drive it. I'll let him speak for himself.
There's, what I was driving was the smoothest driving vehicle I've ever had, an old beat up Chevy van. I don't know what it is about that thing, but, there's even by Buffalo Center, especially when the pavement was wet, you could see there's a lot of anomalies in it that you can feel when I'm driving my semi up and down that road. I can feel it more. Is that something that's common, or?
I just know if I was driving a semi, it would pound the crap out of it, I know that.
What would be allowable deflection?
The spec says, I think it's they have a 10-foot and a 25-foot spec, how much deflection you can have. And I'm almost certain you wouldn't find that out there, except for maybe bridge approaches and those kinds of things. I have noticed what you said about when it's wet, or, like if the sun's in the right spot, you can see the imperfections in the texture on the surface and maybe where the roller started and stopped. When they go back and forth, there's always a spot where they start and stop. And full width paving, they don't have the opportunity to kind of roll out onto the existing side. Like, if they did it half and half, one of the lanes would be better because they would never stop on the hot mat, whereas full width they have to. driven them all several times, and wouldn't say I've noticed anything that would shake a vehicle. These kind of micro imperfections, you can feel them.
Yeah, it's not big. I mean, it's much better than what was there, but it's not as good as like, what is that, A16?
Or even 69, from 9 to Fort City, you know.
Well, I thought R50 was decent.
I just didn't know if that's gonna shorten the life of it when semis start pounding on it, or.
Sure, certainly wouldn't think so, and I don't think it'll be really a pounding action.
Okay.
Anything that, you know, anything that creates up and down movement creates.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really bad. It's probably within the specs, I would guess, but it's just not as good as like A16 is.
Yeah. I think that, you know, anytime you pave earlier in the summer, you'll get a better product just by the nature of workability, which is unfortunate that we were the project that got, you know, pushed into the fall. I can consult further with our DOT too to see if they.
Didn't know if you guys had noticed the same thing or not, so that's fine with me.
Okay, anything else for secondary roads?
I do have, don't they have a tester? I know that when they did a project through Lake Mills, the state came in with some thing they had on the front of a car that they tested.
Profilograph, man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we have the option to specify whether or not a profilograph is used, and what that does is system goes over the pavement and marks all the blips and whatever and comes out with a score.
Yeah.
Based on that score,
Okay.
they either get an incentive or a disincentive. It still doesn't, you know, change the quality necessarily. It just gives an incentive or disincentive based on how perfect it is.
Yep. Okay.
It's an option we could do.
Just
We
a side question.
elected not to do it,
No,
just
That was a
because
side question.
generally it gets to be an incentive. And the other thing I was going to talk to you guys about today is this parking ordinance draft. If you remember back in March, we had talked about Eagle Lane and parking in the winter out there and other times too, but mainly focused on cars parked on the street during snow removal. And you guys had voiced support for, you know, no parking during snow events, and then outside of that, there was kind of mixed opinions. So this ordinance does two things. It makes all roads in the county snow routes and prohibits any parking on them during snow and up to 48 hours afterwards. That would give us the ability to ticket those cars with a $25 ticket and tow them if needed. And that'd be discretion used by the law enforcement in conjunction with our personnel, depending on if it's like repeat offenders or anything like that. But it allows us to write a ticket rather than just tow them right away. The other thing it does is allows the board to adopt any specific parking rules by resolution at any time in the future, with a ticket of $25 as well. So if we decide that, you know, snow ordinance rules aren't enough out there and we need to further restrict parking, that gives the authority to adopt something by resolution in the future.
I like this ordinance.
Kelsey and I spent some time working on it, trying to set us up for, you know, something that's enforceable now and also gives us flexibility to make changes in the future if we need to.
So if we were to change something by resolution, it would have the same impact as an ordinance,
Well,
the resolution?
so this ordinance says the board can adopt parking rules by resolution. So let's say, I don't know, pick a spot like out in Rice Lake, let's say you get some new owners out there and they start parking on the road during the day, that pavement's very narrow, and you probably wouldn't want people parking on the road. I don't see that right now. So you might put up no parking anytime on the road and pass a resolution to that effect. So then, that's an enforceable parking restriction out there because you're authorized under this ordinance to do so.
I think this is very fair, so.
Yeah, I think it'd be,
Pretty much the same as the town, and I can see how frustrating it is when cars don't move on the streets, so.
Yeah, I consulted Four Cities ordinance for some language in here too, and the 48 hours after the end of the snow event is consistent with what they use. So if I don't see any issues with it, I would work with Kelsey to make sure that all the language is clean and clear, and Carla to make sure that we're all square about what it needs to say, and then we'll publish it in the paper in Buffalo and Lake in those papers, and then we'll have, if you're okay with it, waive the first and second reading and then pass it at a meeting. What is it, 10 to 20, however it is in the ordinance or in the code after the publication of it. We'll have you vote on it. So today I'm just looking for kind of guidance. If you're okay with that, then we'll move forward that way.
Well, I will vote for it, so that's my opinion.
I'm supporting it.
Okay.
That's the majority, doesn't matter what I'm doing.
But there's not a lot of, areas in the county that are residential in nature like that, so.
Yeah.
I would like to know your opinion though.
Gotcha. I can abstain.
Come on, Waffle Boy.
Oh, the waffle word, ouch, that hurts. No,
I figured since you were quiet, you were probably okay with it.
you never know.
Because you, a lot of times, will voice your opinion.
Really? I never know why it came off that way.
It's a new one to me.
Yeah, golly, yeah, that's not a character.
I guess before you move on, I got one more thing I put on your desk, Bill. These are the final vouchers for all the bridge projects that Rognus Brothers worked on. All that work is done and everything seeded, and even some of the grass is growing, and those projects are complete. The paperwork's done. The final voucher just requires a signature from the board chair. I couldn't find anything that required any official action from you guys, just a signature. Those projects came in nicely, close to the estimate, and then construction was even under the bid, so we did well on those projects, I think.
So back on that ordinance, who would write the tickets for it then? Blade operators or the?
No, the tickets be written by the sheriff's office.
Okay.
I visited with Dave about it, and he said they haven't done this before, so they'd have to get some tickets to this effect, but
We'll check with Kelsey and see if, because don't you write tickets for the parking lot? Check with Kelsey to see if the snowplow operator can. I mean, it's not, it'd be,
I suppose the biggest thing is them stopping with the equipment to do that is another.
it's,
yeah, but I mean, to call out the sheriff for just,
Yeah.
I do whatever you want, but I mean, on that, it just, they're there, if they're gonna call it in, they think it's violations, so.
I guess if it was a ticket that was just simple fill in the blank, the
Yeah, it seems like something the sheriff's office should do, but
Okay,
we'll
that's
we'll
fine,
hash that out.
that's fine. I don't think it's gonna be a problem myself.
Sure, pass the buck on to them, let them take the heat for it.
I think it'll be pretty obvious, you know, if we're ticketing vehicles that they're not where they should be.
Is there still vehicles out in that area pretty regularly, you think, or? I would say. I've been out that way a couple times, I guess I didn't really notice in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, it's, I was going to Mankato State, the towing company there that was in cahoots with the city on the odd and even parking. And it started snowing while I was at class, by the time I got back. When they come and tow your vehicle, they try to be as quiet as possible. They want anybody to know that it's going. So they run out and move. Well,
Any other questions?
I have none.
there's no action for that. And these are signed, except for the first one has a signature first and the date second. I started signing before I started reading, so,
I'm sure that'll suffice.
all right. I caught it, but, oh,
Take those from you. You got them all signed. Thank you.
anything else for secondary roads?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Move on to auditor's office, we'll discuss drainage matters.
I'll go get her.
Yeah, rather than.
Yeah, that's, I did actually think about picking the receiver up this time. I wanted to do it right, now you won't let me.
So I was ready to lunge for the two.
Yeah. There you go.
Morning.
Hi,
All right,
morning. I don't have it.
So
exciting.
it looks like on DD 11, they're due in another month.
Yes. So I vote that if they aren't near completion in a couple weeks, we need to extend that.
Now, what's their excuse right now? Pipe
They
availability?
can't get, yeah, they can't get pipe. They've put in, I think, all the pipe they've gotten.
Well, there's some out there.
Is there now? Okay.
There's been sitting there for 2 weeks.
I wonder if he's
someone can
waiting-
Get them maybe another.
Right, so I wonder if they're waiting to get a lot
They
in.
still, they moved their equipment out.
No, it's still there.
Sitting there too.
There's a loader with
We're not
boards
moving back.
and the hoe that does the digging and a dozer.
My guess is they're just waiting so they can do a bunch at one time. Are people upset with it, or?
Well, there's just concerns that, it was due November 1st, they thought, but it's December 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It still pushes it for a lot of footage.
Mm-hmm. But this year was not, I mean, it's not the contractor's fault he couldn't get material.
Yeah, he was doing well to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume he was planning on having that done long before the fall,
Yeah.
normal work.
He had other delays, but
Yeah.
the pipe still wasn't there.
Right, so,
Yeah, that whole project hasn't gone quite as planned.
no, and I know the landowners that I've talked to love their work. They've been out there and watched and talked to him, and they love what he's done so far. I haven't talked to anybody that's unhappy with it. Have you?
No.
Oh, good. So, I'm glad that they're liking it.
The ones that were questioning me were just ones that sit around the coffee shop dwelling on things,
Mhm.
probably hoping for a discount.
Yeah, no. That would be great.
nice to know some information from the pipe company, what's going on.
I can call Jeremy and find out.
They're at least getting a little delay in having to pay.
I mean, have an idea of how long it's gonna take to get this pipe. We have a real hard winter coming up here. Are they gonna be able to dig it in at all?
Well, and usually when we've had this issue come up, we just wait until spring and just move the completion date until spring, when we know that they can get it in.
But then we're paying another crop damage too.
Hopefully they get it done before then.
So I'll find out from Jeremy.
Oh, and I've got concerns, on DD1. They think there's something still holding it up, even though we got things dug out. It'd be top end of DD1, kind of where DD12 dumps into it.
Okay.
There's, let me get it here. The road south of Thompson, was it, trying to remember the district down there that they improved years ago.
15, the big one they
15,
did?
yeah.
Mhm.
I think where it dumps in there, by the bridge.
Okay.
They said it used to be down here, and it was down there after they cleaned out the ditch, but now it's always up here. So they're thinking there's probably something else holding things up.
I know there's been a beaver dam issue that I talked to Jason Worth on.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Because he's the one that was contacting me on.
Unless there's another one somewhere else.
Okay. So where was the beaver dam at?
I'm not sure exactly where it was. I just,
Was it on DD1 or?
I don't recall the number right now.
Okay.
Because I've had about 3 or 4 beaver dam issues going, so.
So I don't know if it's just south of Highway 9 that there's a problem or what, if we need to get Rick to do a flyover again.
That's up to you.
Or maybe maybe I can just get Jason out there and we'll just go for a drive. Because we do have the rights to go along the ditch bank,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
since he's a trustee of the district that's concerned.
Right, and 12 is a trustee also, so.
Yeah, and I'm a trustee.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah, so you can do that one.
So, okay, well, I'll work with Jason on that, see if we can figure out there is a spot that,
Okay. And then just let me know if I need to do anything?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I still haven't heard from Rick on a railroad update for DD 18 Line 11. I know it. They
Well,
take their sweet time.
it's like the city of Lake Mills has been saying, you know, nothing fast about the railroad or cheap. They've got experience in that.
Other than the only fast about the railroad was when they were going through Rake. And one of the deputies sat up there, the speed limit was supposed to be 49. He was going 60 something, the train was going through there. See, if they go over 49, if they go 50, they have to put up all the
Crossing arms.
Crossing arms and stuff on the intersection. So I'm guessing a 49 mile an hour train is much less dangerous than a 50 mile train.
So you can stop those on a dime,
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
or at least within the county.
Okay, anything else for drainage?
I don't think so. All right, thank you.
Thank you. 5, consider the approval of public purpose policy.
It's gonna have to be stamped, or not?
No, just don't.
him send you in here so you could give him an update on, the drainage?
Yeah,
Because he always looks forward to the drainage.
I've got an idea for a retirement gift for Dave.
Plaque, piece of tile on here, can't think of it.
I'll make a motion to approve the public purpose policy for retirement of Dave Peterson.
Second that.
Motion from Derby and second from Stansrud to approve the public purpose policy for Dave Peterson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Consider for approval signing loan agreement, continuing disclosure certificate, and registrar paying agent agreement.
Is there more payroll?
Yes.
Good thing I have a photograph of it, so I can set these pages.
Mm-hmm.
Scan them.
Or at least find out places I can sign. Right. Yeah, there you go. Well,
Then I'll look at that too.
make a motion to approve.
The agreement.
I'll second it.
Motion from Stenger and a second from Derby to approve signing loan agreement, continuing disclosure certificate, and registrar paying agent agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So in theory, is there 3 places to sign it?
Well, I was thinking so. Did you find 3 places?
I found 2.
That's kind of what I found too when I was going through there.
There's one of them must double up. Any agent, registrar.
I'm thinking there's just 2, Phil. I'll double check with Bob. He'll let us know.
Hold it. There are 3,
There are.
yes. There's 2 on the side and 1 right on the front page. If it was a snake, it would have bit me.
Okay. So I don't have in that budget amendment the CAT grant thing for Robert Schwartz. I can't remember. That wasn't in the original budget, was it?
No.
Okay, so I need to add that. Is there anything else that,
So do we have, we already put in the budget the money for the LEC tear down, right? Disposal of LEC, that was in the budget, I believe.
I
Yes.
think so, yeah.
Yes, we put
And, I'm trying to think,
80,000 in there, wasn't it?
right, so the CAT grant was one item. Did we include in the budget our contribution to the conservation? Was that gonna be after the first
Well,
of the year?
that's what I was talking about, our,
Our-
going towards the CAT.
Our contribution was
Was that gonna be in next year's budget? Yet to be determined.
I don't know,
That wasn't 80, was it? That was 120.
No, I know, but,
that was 170.
but what was our timing on it? Were we gonna have to amend this year's, or are we
No,
gonna
I
put it
thought
on
we were
next
gonna
year's?
Put it in next year's.
Yeah, probably on next year's.
Yeah, that's.
I think he was fine with that as long as we were
Okay.
committed.
okay, then I'm gonna cross that off. And then we can set the, I don't have to do anything with it. I send it to the paper for tomorrow.
I'll pass this on, so you guys can look at it.
So November 17th.
Any specific time?
Let me just look at the agenda quick and see if there's anything on there.
Let's do it right away. 9:05.
9:05 is good.
I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for budget amendment for fiscal year 2021 budget for November 17th at 9:05.
Second.
Motion from Derby and second from Sandra to set the public hearing for budget amendment for fiscal year 2021 budget for 11/17 at 9:05. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Consider for approval liquor license for Rice Lake Golf and Country Club.
Make that a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion from Sandra and second from Derby to approve the liquor license for Rice Lake Golf and Country Club. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Open forum.
It's on the back.
When was that set for?
November 17th at 9:05.
They'll tell you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Drooling at the chance to do this.
What's that?
I've been just drooling at the chance to do it.
I know. Exciting.
Do a bunch. That way you don't have to keep.
I just do them as they're clipped together.
Okay.
Somebody from Franklin County was asking me if Winnebago County was paying their poll workers more because of COVID.
I don't know
They
yet.
were applying for COVID money for that down there.
I don't know yet. It depends on what we have left.
That would be something to apply for.
I've already applied. I just don't know where I'm at right now. So I gotta. The other thing is, Terry, we can get money for extra poll workers. Like normally we have 5 poll workers, but this time we're gonna have 6 due to the extra cleaning they're gonna have to do. So that money can come from a grant for the extra person. The other thing that's really starting to scare me the week before this election is people were planning to vote at the polling places, and then all of a sudden they get sick with COVID, and now they can't vote, and the absentee request is over. So we've had, I think she said we had 4 or 5 people call yesterday saying, I wanted to vote at the polling places and now I'm sick, what do I do?
Well, yeah. I probably want to be one of them.
So I don't know, they're,
Is that something you can talk to the Secretary of State?
yeah, I will, but I mean, the rules are,
I don't know if there's anything they're bringing down or.
It had to be mailed by
Saturday.
Saturday. And you would think that, well, even sometimes the mail, what was it, somebody did a test. They mailed 500 ballot type envelopes from different cities to see how they would all do. So it was a fair percentage of them that never showed up. Yet, anyway.
From Republican districts?
Well, I don't know if it was anything like that, it was just a test of the post office.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Did you see the video of the mail truck pulling up to the dumpster behind a pizza place and throwing mail in there, in the dumpster? He got caught on camera by the owner of the pizza place. Wow. But I don't remember hearing that there was any ballots in there, but there was like people's checks for bills, and there was a bunch of stuff in
I thought
there.
you were gonna say it was all the political ads nobody wanted.
Well, no, you know, that part, at least he could have gone to recycling. I mean, it wasn't any ballots or anything like that. just evidently the guy had too much mail, it wasn't gonna get delivered on
It
time.
sounds like it's a mess in Pennsylvania where they sent out 30,000 ballots to the wrong district.
Oh, is that right?
So they're voting for somebody out of their district,
Oh, really?
and the district they sent it to was more Democratic district, so there is a court battle over whether they should be separated to decide whether they're gonna count it or not. Of course, each party has a different view on it.
Yeah. I haven't heard that one yet.
Sean Parnell was the one running for office out there. He's running in the district in Pittsburgh. When you're ready, I'll make a motion to approve the payroll claims. Here, the governor released some money for county fairs to apply for assistance. Wonder how that'll affect. The news media said all they talked about was Hancock, who was one of the few fairs that actually had, and they were gonna apply for money because they had less numbers. And I'm thinking, well, ours didn't even have any, so why wouldn't we get more money?
Will we give our fair any money this year because they didn't have a fair?
Depends on what they're having for costs, I guess. They can show. I told them that, come budget time is when we discuss.
They had the livestock judging and stuff.
Yeah, they did have that part of it. They did have costs.
I'll second. Motion Derby and a second from Stenger to see the payroll claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Unless there's anything else you want to get on YouTube right away.